Well, in the second trailer for The Ones Who Live, it pretty much all but confirms that Rick Grimes does lose a hand in this new show. I'm surprised that they actually showed it here in the trailer. It's very quick, but you do kind of see it. They did keep his left hand hidden the entire time in the first trailer, but here in the second trailer, they do reveal it for a split second, and you can tell that, yeah, he doesn't have a hand. Also, too, there's a shot of him just kind of standing behind a few people, and you can tell that his hand or his stump is bandaged and he doesn't have a hand there. And this is a pretty big deal for Walking Dead fans. Everyone is kind of wondered if they ever would cut his hand off because, of course, in the comic book he does lose his hand. It just looks like they kind of changed it up a little bit because in the comic book Rick did lose his right hand, which was his dominant hand, and then he had to learn how to be a lefty. And then here in The Ones Who Live, it looks like he's going to lose his left hand and then be able to use his right hand. So compared to the comic book, this comes way further in the timeline of The Walking Dead. Within the comic book, Rick loses his hand when he first meets the governor. So the governor arc is when Rick loses his hand. So that would have been in season 3 within the context of the show. Now I am guessing that he loses his hand pretty early on-ish within The Ones Who Live, so let's call it a year or two after he's gone missing within the Walking Dead show timeline. And then for the next, whatever, 5 to 7, 8 years, he lives without his hand. I say that because of the post-credit scene we see in The Walking Dead's finale. We see him with his boots and he has both hands. He throws the boots and a bag onto that boat and he still has both hands. In that scene, we're made to infer that he's trying to escape and he fails at it, right? And I think a punishment for him for trying to escape is him losing his hand. And I think that'd be one way to get Rick's attention, to not try to escape. And then Rick's probably going to try to rethink of how he can try to destroy the CRM, how to escape, etc., etc. So that is why I believe he loses his hand pretty early on in his CRM stay, because it is Rick. He would try everything he can to escape. So if I was to guess, by the time that him and Michonne do meet up, he will only have his right hand. And I know a lot of fans go back and forth on, oh, should they do it on the show? Should they not do it? I get why they didn't do it on the main Walking Dead show, because Rick is in almost every scene for the first 8 seasons, and it would have been a lot of CGI, just a lot of hurdles they had to overcome. And eventually they would have just put something over his hand, kind of like Aaron in The Walking Dead. Then it really doesn't matter, and it's not as impactful because Rick rocks the stump until after the New Beginning arc in the comic book, and then he gets the little attachment, whatever you want to call it. He goes without anything for a very long time in the comic book, where I bet you if they did that in the show, they probably wouldn't have lasted that long just due to budget reasons, right? Where The Ones Who Live is a short running show, even if it does get a season 2, which that's not confirmed right now, there will be probably a total of 12 episodes, give or take, total. So it's not as big of a deal to have to CGI out a hand for 12 episodes compared to 150 episodes or something like that. And I'm personally all for it. As long as they handle the situation correctly, I think you can have a really hard-hitting moment where it's like, oh man, they're even more rough than the governor, more rough than Negan, more rough than whoever. Add a little shock factor back in The Walking Dead. They haven't had anything shocking or really interesting in a very long time, and that could be something if they do it correctly. Ultimately, I'm excited to see what they do with the show. I'm interested to see how they're going to cut his hand off, and that's pretty much it. So let me know your thoughts on how you think Rick will lose his hand down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Till next time, guys, everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching.